Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm Melissa Edwards, and I'm Senior Vice President of Government Relations and Environmental Affairs at Lightsource BP. I am thrilled to be here to celebrate Lightsource BP's Cottontail solar projects, developed in close partnership with Constellation and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you to all our partners and team members who have made this project a reality. We're especially honored to welcome Governor Shapiro, Constellation's President and CEO, Joseph Dominguez, and Secretary Reggie McNeil from the Department of General Services, Commissioner Hoke from York County, Acting Secretary Jessica Shirley from Department of Environmental Protection, and Supervisor Ron Ruman from Manchester Township. Lightsource BP is a developer, owner, operator of utility-scale solar and storage. We're dedicated to helping Pennsylvania achieve its sustainability goals. And our track record here in Pennsylvania has proven that solar is not only good for the environment and healthier communities, but it also delivers low-cost, homegrown electricity for the Commonwealth's energy security and independence. We have solar farms in operation across 5 sites in Franklin County that have been reliably delivering clean and affordable electricity to both Penn State and SEPTA since 2020. Now today, we're standing at a solar site that, along with others being built across the state, will help power 16 different Commonwealth of Pennsylvania agencies as part of Pennsylvania Pulse. 2 of the sites, including this one, are already online, providing in total about 54 megawatts of clean in-state power. More are finishing up construction and are due to come online later this year in a phased approach. As a Pennsylvanian born and raised, I could not be prouder of our work on what will be one of the largest and most important renewable energy projects in our state. The remarkable fact is that not only solar makes sense for Pennsylvania's environment by reducing carbon emissions for healthier air, but with careful planning, solar farms can contribute so much more to our local communities and to nature. As head of environmental affairs, my team is responsible for ensuring that we maximize the positive environmental impacts of each of our projects, and we call this responsible solar. What does this mean? Well, take a look at the solar panels behind me. If you examine them closely, you'll see that they are mounted on racking that sits on top of posts. These posts only take up 5% of the land. This leaves significant opportunity, actually 90% or more of a solar farm, and the land around it, where we're able to plant grasses, flowers for pollinators, and other vegetation that over time will provide a stable home for local wildlife. We are stewards of this land, and we take this responsibility seriously. Our goal is to let the soil rest and improve, as well as measurably boost biodiversity and critical pollinator populations. Where possible, we also integrate agriculture into our solar farms. This site will have pollinator-friendly plants. Our other Cottontail sites will also have agrivoltaics, and that's the combination of solar and agriculture through sheep grazing and beekeeping on site. Projects such as these are a shining example of how the public-private partnerships can help advance the global energy transition to provide cleaner, healthier environment for our communities, while layering on benefits through a deep commitment to environmental stewardship and social responsibility. Our team at Lightsource BP looks forward to continuing our partnership in Pennsylvania and investing in its sustainable energy future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Great to be here with everyone, and especially happy that we have some sunshine today where we put this facility here to good work. Yeah, it's never good to have a ribbon cutting on a solar farm when it's raining, by the way. But terrific for Constellation to be a part of this. We're so excited to get this project to the finish line. Lissa, your team at Light Source BP has just been fantastic for us to work with. Secretary McNeil, your team just working really day and night to overcome challenges and get this facility online for Pennsylvania families and businesses. You know, Pennsylvania under Governor Shapiro is taking a leadership role in the fight against the climate crisis. Pennsylvania long has been an energy powerhouse, but today is recognized as a clean energy powerhouse. And as Alyssa said, more is yet to come. It's solar, it's hydro, it's wind, it's nuclear here that provides 32% of the clean energy of the state, and Constellation is very proud to be a part of all of that, working with great leaders like Governor Shapiro at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So thank you very much for your leadership. Fantastic. Let's keep it going. I just want to give one last shout out to Chuck, Joe, and Dan from the Constellation team who overcame many, many challenges to get this project to the finish line. Great job, guys. More to come. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Chuck. You're up.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Reggie McNeil. I'm the Secretary of the Department of General Services. I want to extend my gratitude to Alyssa from Light Source VP, and also thank you, Joe, for your comments. They were very inspirational, and looking forward to what we can do here in the state of Pennsylvania, this Commonwealth, when it comes to energy and growing that footprint for our Commonwealth. So at DGS, we are entrusted with overseeing critical functions that ensure the seamless execution of capital projects and services throughout the Commonwealth. You know, I am very proud of the dedication and expertise demonstrated by our property and asset management team led by Deputy Secretary Jason Snyder, and also our procurement team led by Deputy Secretary Brian Esposito. And thank them for securing of this historic contract. It is especially poignant to make this announcement on Earth Day. I'm wearing the green blazer today with the brown colored slacks and the green tie. Yeah, I tried to do a little matching there. And underscoring our collective commitment to environmental stewardship and sustainability. Through this groundbreaking agreement, more than 50% of the Commonwealth's annual power supply will be sourced from renewable solar energy. Pennsylvania's pioneering commitment marks a significant milestone, positioning us as the first state to pledge to meet over half of its annual energy needs through solar power.
That's right.
So this visionary project aligns seamlessly with Governor Shapiro's dedication to combating climate change by significantly reducing carbon emissions. The successful installation and launch of the first 2 solar farms during the first quarter created 200 union jobs and is a promising start toward our renewable energy goals. Upon the completion of all 10 solar arrays, PA Pulse will enable the Commonwealth to slash its carbon footprint by a staggering 158,000 metric tons of CO2 annually. This is equivalent to removing emissions from nearly 35,000 fuel-burning cars each year. So I extend my deep appreciation to Light Source BP and Constellation Corps for their invaluable collaboration. Without their partnership, today's milestone would not have been possible. I also urge our other energy providers to partner with the Commonwealth in our shared mission to diversify energy sources and foster the creation of clean, reliable, and affordable energy solutions. Again, I would like to thank Governor Shapiro for his visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to initiatives like PA Pulse. Governor Shapiro's commitment ensures that the Commonwealth is on target to become one of the world's top clean energy producers. And with that, it is my honor to introduce Governor Shapiro.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you. Morning, everybody. I want to wish everybody here, even those of you not dressed appropriately for the day, although you are, Mr. Secretary, I want to wish everybody a happy Earth Day. And to Joe Dominguez and his crew at Constellation, thanks for not only being great partners, thanks for ordering up the sunshine, man. It is beautiful out here. I want to start by saying thank you to Secretary McNeil at the Department of General Services and his team, led by Deputy Secretary Brian Esposito, and all who are gathered here today. This is a big deal for our Commonwealth, and y'all do a lot of important work behind the scenes. You often don't get recognized for that. Today's the day to recognize you for the important work that you're doing. And I know, like many in my administration, we work cross-collaboratively. We break down silos and stovepipes that often stymie progress. This is an example where Secretary McNeil worked together with Acting Secretary Shirley at the Department of Environmental Protection to make sure that we got this done together and that Pennsylvania remains an energy leader in the nation. We took advantage together of some of our leading partners in the private sector, and I couldn't be more proud to be joined by Alyssa Edwards today from LightSource and her great team, along with the aforementioned Joe Dominguez from Constellation. We're doing a lot of work with both of them, especially Constellation, and really more exciting things to come there. And of course, I want to thank the amazing, hardworking women and men of the IBEW and the laborers, whose hands literally crafted the work that you see behind us. They are simultaneously powering our economy in Pennsylvania and protecting our planet. Today's announcement is another example during the time of our administration of what is possible in Pennsylvania when the private sector, the public sector, labor, and business all come together to invest in innovation, to invest in clean energy, and to invest in a brighter future for the Commonwealth. And the result here today is more reliable, affordable, renewable power that will benefit Pennsylvania. You know, when I announced my comprehensive energy plan last month, I made clear that we need to take action to ensure Pennsylvania remains a national energy leader. Now, thanks to this important work that began during the Wolf administration and has continued on my watch, our Commonwealth is literally leading the nation when it comes to powering our state government with clean energy. The solar array behind me is just one of 10 like it being built across the Commonwealth as part of our PA Pulse initiative. Under this initiative, the Commonwealth is working with our energy supplier Constellation to purchase the power generated at these solar arrays in order to supply the electricity we need to power state government from our office buildings to our PennDOT centers and places in between. As part of this important initiative, LightSource BP is in the process of building 10 solar arrays in Columbia, Juniata, Crawford, Northumberland, Snyder, and, of course, York County. And let me say thank you to Commissioner Doug Hoke of York County for being with us today. He's a great leader in this county. He's been a great friend and partner to me for many years. This is the third solar farm to open. 3 others are being built right now and are expected to open in the next few months, and the final 4 will be built immediately after that. And listen, this is a big deal. It's going to mean more good-paying jobs for Pennsylvanians, more reliable, affordable electricity for the Commonwealth, and fewer carbon emissions that are contributing directly to climate change. First, by building these solar farms, we're creating more than 200 union jobs, supporting our labor and electrical workers who are building the energy future right here in Pennsylvania and training the next generation of workers to continue this important work. Second, we are going to lock in an affordable price for electricity for the Commonwealth and our taxpayers for the next 15 years. And third, under our agreement with Constellation and LightSource, we will purchase electricity produced at a cost that is competitive with current power prices, and that price will be locked in even as electricity prices increase over time. And third, we will significantly reduce our carbon emissions and make Pennsylvania state government the national leader in renewable power. Taken all together, these 10 solar arrays will generate 361,000 megawatt hours of electricity each year to power 16 Commonwealth agencies. That is roughly equivalent to the power needed for 35,000 homes each year. And because we're getting this power from clean renewable sources, we will reduce the Commonwealth's carbon emissions by nearly 160,000 tons. Put another way, That's the same amount of CO2 produced by about 35,000 cars. As I said, is a big deal. Overall, once all these 10 solar arrays are up and running, Pennsylvania state government will receive just over 50% of our electricity from clean energy sources. Over half of our energy will come from these clean energy sources, and that is far more than any other state in the nation. Pennsylvania leading the way. We are leading the nation on this, investing in clean energy technology, growing our economy, creating jobs, lowering costs, and protecting our planet all at the same time. I think this is something we should be proud of and something that we should build on so we can accomplish even more on an even larger scale all across Pennsylvania. You know, about 20 years ago, 2 decades ago, Pennsylvania was a national leader on clean energy when we introduced, way back when, our alternative energy portfolio standards, which established what kind of energy we use here in Pennsylvania and where it comes from. Just 20 years ago. We were one of the first states to do this. Heck, I was in the legislature back then and voted for it. But here's the problem. We haven't made any major updates to those standards in the last 17 years, while 30 other states have updated their standards, including almost all of our neighbors who have moved past us. That includes states run by Democrats and states run by Republicans. It makes bipartisan common sense to take action in this space. And when you fail to take action, you can lose out on innovation and new investment. And it means you lose out on job creation. We are proving here in Pennsylvania that a transition to clean energy doesn't cost jobs, it creates jobs, and it protects our planet at the same time. And so we can't let other states beat us. It's time to catch up. We've got to build on our great energy experience and our great legacy of energy leadership and reject that false choice between protecting our planet and protecting our jobs. We can do both, and it's time we write this next chapter. That's why I put forth a new energy plan just a few weeks ago, a 2-part plan that's going to lower costs for consumers, create and protect Pennsylvania jobs, and lower climate warming emissions from our Commonwealth. Taken together, hear me on this, my plan will protect and create nearly 15,000 energy jobs and save Pennsylvanians $252 million in just the first 5 years alone. And it'll help us attract billions of dollars in federal investment to build out our energy infrastructure and ensure we have a reliable, affordable fleet of power sources for decades to come. In fact, earlier today, this is a little bit of breaking news for everybody, my administration, under the incredible leadership of Brian Regley, secured $156 million in new federal funding to expand solar energy in low-income communities and communities that have too oftentimes been forgotten and left behind. This is a big deal, and this just broke this morning. Under my administration, we're making sure every Pennsylvanian gets to take part in this new energy economy. And we are working together to ensure we remain an energy leader. The plan I put forth, and I want to thank Sam Robinson, my Deputy Chief of Staff, and Jacob Finkel of our policy shop. The plan that they helped craft that we put forth is unique in many ways. It will allow us to be an energy leader. But it also really, for the first time in many years, brought all sides together. Industry, labor, environmental groups, consumer leaders. Everyone came together around this plan. Every one of them endorsed it. And it has received support, at least initially, from Republicans and Democrats alike. Now is the time to take action. We can't afford to sit back and let our neighbors outcompete us. Now is a moment for Pennsylvania to compete in this energy economy. And now is the time to take action, just as we are doing today here on Earth Day, powering our Commonwealth, creating jobs, and lowering our emissions here in Pennsylvania. This project, this should be a catalyst, and it should help us move forward with more projects in the future. And so let us continue to bring Republicans and Democrats together to build a common sense energy plan that's good for business, good for the planet, and good for our Commonwealth's energy future. Let's continue to lead the nation as we're doing here today, by procuring over 50% of our energy from this clean energy source. Let's show the world the Pennsylvania way. Let's lead again in this Commonwealth, and let's continue to build a brighter, cleaner, more affordable, more prosperous future for all here in the Commonwealth. Thank you all very, very much. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. And with that, anyone up here, and I'd be happy to answer some questions from the media if you have them. Yes, Dennis.
Can you tell us how this works? How much state money is involved? And since you're talking about Republicans, this is not just something you can do unilaterally. You need some legislative support on it.
Are you referring to the energy plan, or are you referring to the solar array behind us? It's a little hard to hear you.
Yeah, both.
Okay. Let me ask Secretary McNeil to talk about the mechanics of the solar array.
Thank you. So we did it's a purchase power agreement that we entered into with Constellation. So they went out and they hired LightSource, and LightSource has leases for across the Commonwealth with some farmland so they can construct these solar arrays. The guarantee was through the purchase power agreement that we were going to get around 361,000 megawatts per hour for all of the solar arrays that we're going to establish. As mentioned earlier in our remarks, we're going to have about 2 of those that are already in place, and we have another 3 that are being constructed, 4 that are being constructed, and ultimately we'll get to the remaining to get to the 10. As far as the dollar amount on that, I don't have that particular figure in front of me at this point, but I will get back to you on that.
Governor, my other question for you is we were at the Farm Bureau a couple of weeks ago, and one of the top concerns, and the first speaker did address this a little bit, but concerns for farmers is that a lot of these are taking up farmland. What do you say to meet those concerns?
Well, I'm going to invite LightSource to come up. Alyssa can share again their unique technology and their placement. We want to make sure that these solar arrays can be built in a way that is as responsible as possible for our land, that we're still able to plant grasses, we're still able to deal with irrigation and runoff. We're not complicating any of that. We're still preserving as much farmland as possible. Obviously, this is a balancing act, and we work closely with the Farm Bureau and others to make sure it's done in a thoughtful manner. Let me see if LightSource, if you want to add anything else.
Yeah, I'll just add, we can really reconceptualize how solar energy is developed. Only 5% of the land is actually taken up. You can sort of see right here. And there's so many opportunities for the agricultural community and for solar to combine through agrivoltaics. For many of our projects, we combine sheep grazing, which actually takes care of the maintenance of the land underneath and around the panels. And we work with local farmers. We've done this in Pennsylvania, and we've actually done it around the country. And it's really a win-win for the farming community. And we can also add in other environmental benefits. We have on this project, and actually for all of our projects, we have large-scale vegetation installed underneath and around the arrays that provide pollinator habitat, other habitat for wildlife. And there's just many ways that you can make solar projects more than just clean renewable energy. We can make them positive for the environment as well. And so, one of our commitments is working with local farmers, and we have many examples of that throughout Pennsylvania.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Question. So the solar arrays, you can just do that, what we're doing here. But you were talking about Republicans want to get them. That's your broader policy.
Yeah, and I was going to address that at the end. We put forth this 2-part energy plan, again, that enjoys the support of industry, environmentalists, labor unions, and labor leaders across the state, as well as consumer groups. It's a plan that will create jobs and cut costs and cut our carbon emissions. Folks said it couldn't be done, that we couldn't get all of those different interests together to find a common path forward. We did that. Our vision, our plan, which is a Pennsylvania-only cap and invest system, along with updating our AEPS standards, as I mentioned before, haven't been updated in nearly 2 decades, is being introduced in bill form. We've already seen a small piece of it, carbon capture, go through the Senate. I think it was last week or the week before. And so we're seeing movement in this area. I put forth my idea. I made clear we can't afford to do nothing. I welcome the ideas of others, Democrat and Republican alike, but we've got to come together at this moment and do something big and bold on energy that puts money back in consumers' pockets, that creates jobs, doesn't sacrifice them, that reduces our emissions here in the Commonwealth. We need to be a leader again. We need to do that. I believe we can, and I believe we can find some common ground in that space, as we did through our working group over the course of the last year.
Do you need to build all 10 solar arrays to achieve that 50% goal, or has these 2 that have been built achieved it?
I think it's all 10 together. Yep, all 10 together.
And how long till we get all those 10 constructed?
So we're working with Constellation right now. We started this work back in 2019, and just this place where we are right now just took just over a year to construct this solar array farm. So there are different steps along the way that we have to take in order to secure the lease and also to get the materials needed to build these things. So we are hopeful that we'll have the next 3 done within the next year. But then after that, we're working through some of our challenges that we're understanding right now in order to get to the 10. So I can't give you a definite date of when those 10 will be done, but we're progressing. It could take anywhere from a year to 3 years before they're finished.
And what is your projected dollar savings for taxpayers? You say this is going to be a cheaper way to go?
So I believe, as the governor had mentioned before, this is we look at the rate in which we're being charged for the power that we're going to be getting from Constellation or through Constellation, and it's going to be competitive with some of the other rates that we get from our traditional power sources. So we're hopeful that we're going to have less of a payout for the power that we receive through this renewable energy source.
Just a final word and then we'll wrap here. I think it's really important that we acknowledge the fact that you've got Constellation, one of the most important power companies really in the country, making such an enormous commitment to clean energy and doing the lion's share of that work right here in Pennsylvania. That's a big deal. And to be able to partner with Alyssa and her team is an example of how we are using innovation to power this clean energy economy. And of course, we're joined by leaders of the laborers and the electricians. We're creating jobs in the process. It's all coming together. It's all working together. This is an exciting moment for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and I'm really grateful to everybody here. Thank you all very, very much.
But it also delivers low-cost, homegrown electricity for the Commonwealth's energy security and independence. We have solar farms in operation across 5 sites in Franklin County that have
fight against the climate crisis. Pennsylvania long has been an energy powerhouse, but today is recognized as a clean energy powerhouse. And as Alyssa said, more is yet to come.
Light Source VP, and also thank you, Joe, for your comments. They were very inspirational, and looking forward to what we can do here in the state of Pennsylvania, this Commonwealth, when it comes to energy and growing that footprint for our Commonwealth. Annual power supply will be sourced from renewable solar energy. Pennsylvania's pioneering commitment marks a significant milestone, positioning us as the first state to pledge to meet over half of its annual energy needs through solar.
We work across collaborative silos and stovepipes that often stymie progress. This is an example where Secretary McNeil worked together with Acting Secretary Shirley at the Department of Environmental Protection to make sure hardworking women and men of the IBEW and the laborers, whose hands literally crafted the work that you see behind us, they are simultaneously powering our economy in Pennsylvania and protecting.